Well, we got us a nice foggy morning. It's kind of in a fight against time with this thing because there's a hole in my air mattress and I didn't even have duct tape, which is a bit ridiculous, but we're almost there. I think we're gonna make it. The hole is on the bottom of the mattress. I flipped it, taped it up with the packing tape I had, which hardly sticks to that at all. Sticks for shit anyway. And I just got all that lumber on there to have some positive pressure. And I did about, I don't know, I did about the same amount of load I would have wanted to, but it's about a third of what I have to do. So 3 trips, I got some duct tape at the cabin. Let's do it. I actually haven't landed on this beach in forever because the water's been so low. I get to the edge of the river upstream this way, hop out and climb the bank and get to the cabin a little shorter, save myself about 100 yards. The water's getting higher, but believe it or not, this fire pit and all the way up to this grass will get covered on a high season anyway. So that's about a third of my load. That was definitely half of the siding. So I pre-stained it. It's supposed to look like that linseed oil and black pine tar. That's like the Scandinavian traditional treatment, but I made mine out of some semi-transparent slate deck waterproofing stain, and then used black, so the jet black slate, no transparent, over that to kind of give it that effect. And some of the grains come out a little gray brown. It looks pretty good. Doing it all black just is like, why wouldn't I just buy engineered wood? I scored all this cedar from a little mill out nearby where I was, a few hour drive. They're selling it for 44 cents a linear foot, which is like 85% off of where I could find it anywhere else in my area. So worth the trip. A lot of them are beat to shit, but for what I'm using it for, siding, I don't really care. They all have a good face, so we went with it. Stoked to have made it on my air mattress with the hole. Yes sir. Looks like it's hurting a little bit. We better get this stuff unloaded. I mean, round of applause for the Intex. If you're in the air mattress purchasing need, get one. Other than this hole I have, which I don't know how it's holding on. You can see there's water under there. This was underwater. I had so much weight. It's actually held air that whole time, and I was giving it shit that it was leaking. My little extraordinary tape job. So sucks. I have to deflate this, pump it back up once I get up the river, paddle it back up, and then blow it up again, bring another load down. But I think I'll score some duct tape at the cabin and make a better fix. But I'm feeling confident now. Here's all the siding. I feel like such a dad. I can just hear myself. Like, the easier you stack it now, the easier it's going to be to carry in. When I used to get down here and just be like, oh, hell, just throw it all in. Now that I'm looking at it, you can tell they're all kind of different. I did this over the course of a month, so I was feeling it light some days, dark others. I don't know, in my mind it's gonna look cool with them all kind of different, and then they'll fade and all turn into essentially the same thing. It's like a mixture of a 5-year and a 25-year deck stain. So that's like full exposure deck stain, so I'm sure it'll last a lifetime. Siding on the cabin, it's all covered. You can see I got some 10-footers and some 8-footers here. I have some 16 up at the cabin, and my cabin's not like wider than this. staying near sided. These are 5 or 6 thick. It's about 14 foot long. Push them all together. Yeah, I think I might have actually done my math right, and I didn't quite stain all the wood. So if I don't have to use the ones that aren't stained and I can use that for another project, that would be awesome. Yeah, I think we're gonna be Tyvek tape for the win. That's essentially a part of it. Let's give her another go. Just got some stuff, tables and shelves, rest of the lumber. Summit, 16 feet. Okay, we got another one. Some odds and ends. Little solar powered market lights. Thing of water, some food and clothes. Most of which I just left at the truck. I'm gonna be going in and out of here a ton. 16 footers, whole bunch of 8 footers, some stained, mostly not, and a furniture set. So, oh, and a shelf. But a furniture set, so 4 chairs and a table. So you can kind of chill this weekend in the sun. I got some extra paint and some odds and ends to get this siding up. Whole bunch of black galvanized screws. Should look real nice. Old Faithful, this mattress. Phew. I just have the fun chore of walking it all up to the cabin. But I brought the fishing pole and some lures. I caught a trout last time I was here, so let's see if I can do that again on my break. Nice misty morning is about to be burned off by the sun. It's supposed to be, I think it's in the 90s this weekend. Super randomly, but as always, let's do the first walk in together. See if anyone's home. Oh yeah, same mess as last time. Something I'm gonna have to deal with this trip. I got my family staying out here with me, is getting some stairs up on this thing. I had to climb up the snowbank. It was like perfect. I remember that angle. Oh no, it's like knee high going in and out of there 100 times with kids especially. Sucks. Put down the project list. Trying to get a feel for how I like the color and what it's gonna look like, and I think I'm on the love it side of love it or hate it. I definitely guesstimated the lengths wrong. I don't need a single 16 footer, so those windows are close enough. There's nothing that runs that high, and I'm way shy on what's needed to get to that window. So I'll have to run some seams and get creative. You always knew it was going down that way. But I got some extra paint and a saw and some screws. It's gonna be no sweat. I think it's gonna look really pretty sick with the cedar trim and then stained cedar siding, black windows, black roof. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. Alright, I threw a couple siding boards on here, kind of show you what I'm working with. I had this idea that I would just hit a line of black spray paint as I put these on every course, in case through this little seam you could see it, but these boards are a little bit flimsy and I'm getting them super tight. I don't think you'd ever see it, but I'll probably do it on the front here. I wanted to start with this front corner because it's what you walk up to from the river. I just wanted it to be nice and tight and kind of set the tone. So I took plum from the doors and the windows, and everything's level, but like just the bubble to the right side or the left side of the level window, and match those. So probably hard to tell, but I actually ripped throughout the whole length a 1/4 inch off of that one to try and match those angles so that it sets this level with the next one perfect with the windows. So yeah, we'll see if that spares me any problems. And ordered these screws and they're not black, but I don't know if I hate them. But they're like galvanized deck ones that won't rust, versus drywall ones that I didn't really trust, but they may have looked prettier. So this is going to be interesting to figure out. Maybe I'm going to do soffit up under here, but I'm going to try and get these boards as fitted as possible up there, because I'm going to have to cut and do butt seams top to bottom anyway, because I don't have enough long stuff to make it happen. So I'll kind of sprinkle that through. Nothing organized is my favorite, and how I like to do floors and everything. I think if you do the same pattern, it looks kind of bricky and goofy, and it's harder to do. You really notice if something's off a little bit. Yeah, kind of feeling it. I also have tar roofing paper that I was thinking I would cut into strips and just staple bang bang down as I go, and that would be even another thing of weatherproofing, but I don't know, it'll probably be some combination of both of them, to be honest. But sweet, see how this looks. This part should be easy. I'll just kind of take off there, see how she goes. Might actually be getting good at this. Got this angle cut here with the slip of the roof. I tore this out, trying to knock it into place, but it's the right height. It's got the right overlap in the back to butt up against the roof. Siding, I guess. And it's the right length at the bottom. Having a solo overnighter. It's just about dusk. Those are just some solar lights that got charged up. Oh, it's dusk. Sunset was a couple hours ago. It just stays barely bright here for forever. So I'm gonna make myself a little kitchen table and make some food and clean up my little junkyard. Okay, she's looking pretty good, guys. Got that little bit there. This portion finished all the way up to the door on other sides. And I finished installing the door and caulked it in last night. So I just put those little finishing pieces up next to it, and I think it looks pretty awesome. I just ended up making this guy skinny all the way to the top. I was thinking I'd go skinny and then leave it full size there, but I did some quick math and I'm gonna have a smaller than one piece in the middle there anyway. And that 1/4 inch is just adding to how small that is. So I think it's actually gonna look sick, and I'll just stick it in the middle there somewhere. And I got tired of falling on this bucket trying to crawl up out of here. So I had these extra pieces from the 16 footers that made the full run there. And they're a little thicker, I noticed. So like a true 3/4, it's like a different wood, different cedar anyway. And they're super solid. And this other cedar, which is the rest of the siding, is solid enough. And they're 96 inches long. So I can burn 3 pretty easy and get 3, so 1 board per step sectioned out, and I think that'll be pretty cool. It might look kind of dorky, but man, I'll be able to walk in there. And then while I was working on this, I was hammering and stuff, and I had this little tube rested up here inside of a sliding glass door, and I watched it go and fall in, which is how you lock it when you're inside at night. At least I did that last night. It's the first solo night I've really had here. with the door on it at least. And so I'm looking at it like, oh shit. I can't get the door off from the outside, so that's good. No one's breaking in if that's on there, at least unless they're coming through the glass. So I actually came over here. This is after figuring out what the hell I'm gonna do. Threw the ladder up. That window was cracked just enough to get my hand in, punch out the screen, unwind the thing, which it's not that full size when you unwind it. It gets skinnier and skinnier as it turns that corner. I somehow went in there head first, like started climbing the wall upside down. I thought I was gonna kill myself. And my phone was in there, so, you know, at least if I fell, I might be able to crawl over to it and call somebody, but I'm thinking this looks pretty sick. I mean, it's gonna look really good. There's, like I said, I stained all this wood at different times. Like now that I'm out here, this looks a little lighter. Section right there, maybe one over there. But I think it's all gonna fade to about the same color at some point anyway. Or, like I said, I can come out with a roller and touch up. You can always make it darker. Can't make it lighter though, so I'm kind of waiting to see what the sun does to it and some weather. Stoked. I think today I'll kind of work in the shade, so I'm gonna finish here while it's in the shade, and then get over here when the sun's like high noon. It's supposed to be like 88 today. You. Had to shave off just a hair and hit it with some black paint. Yes, sir. Perfect fit. Yeah, I'm thinking the stain worked out pretty good. Just mixing Bayer deck paint. I'd coat it first with semi-transparent and then the next one with the full coat, so some of the grain would still show through. Some of the ones where the black didn't get applied as thick, I presume, or I did it like different timing, they look kind of gray. But I'm really digging all the the actual grain that you can see. See those guys, that little crop was kind of gray. Touch it up one day. But I probably saved myself a few $100 on doing the black pine tar and linseed oil. It's kind of expensive. So this is, I stained all the wood, which it looks like I'm gonna have enough doing that method. And for sure it was like $130 total. Not bad. Okay, we're ready for the big reveal of the weekend. Cabin's done. Hey puppy. Actually, you might have guessed it. This huge pile, which is about 3/4 of the cabin worth of siding, is sitting there along with my other stuff in the garage until next time. But spent a lot of time with family and out on the lake and things. I had my bucket set up here, which I was using to step in, and I fell on it, so I built some stairs real quick. I had the stair stringers were pre-cut, so it took me like 30 minutes. We're framed up to this edge. We got a little guy here, but it's ready for the next row to go. So it's that 3/4 inch overlap. Same with up here, so I can build up on the roof portion. Kind of made just one like a little ledger under here, which is what the stairs are hooked to. And there's still some trim pieces here and there on the roof that need to join the party, but it's definitely watertight. It's still getting a bug here and there, but we're sleeping in there just fine, not pestered at all. Oh, it's gonna look amazing once this whole thing's done, but I'll tell you what, from one angle, I'm pretty dang satisfied. That's about the one, minus that little roof gap. Sick. Hey, pop, pop.